Damn it, Jim, I'm a professor, not a film critic.
Hans vlogs once or twice a week.
Hello, it's me, your pal, Professor Hans von Puppet, and today I want to talk about Star Trek Into Darkness. Now, this picture's been out for a couple of weeks now, so I shouldn't really have to worry about spoilers, but people get so bent out of shape about them. Okay, I tell you what, no spoilers in this video until the second half, okay? And I'll give you a big warning so you can pause the video, then go buy a ticket and watch the film that we actual fans saw on opening weekend, and then come back and watch the rest. It's tricky with spoilers these days. No one wants to talk about what happened on Game of Thrones this weekend, even though by the time they finally get caught up, they would have forgotten whatever they heard from you anyway. See, I think if you really are passionate about a show or a movie franchise, you should make it your business to see it the first chance you get. We can wait a little while before talking about it, but if more than a week or so goes by and you're still shushing everybody because you haven't seen whatever that thing is yet, maybe you aren't as passionate about it as you thought. Pick your battles, people. Now, there are a few classic spoilers that I think are rude to reveal. These key revelations that put the whole movie into a new perspective, and knowing them completely changes the meaning of the film. And that mental quantum shift is such a great and rare feeling that you shouldn't ruin that for people. Like, who is Brad Pitt in Fight Club? The surprise thing in the Crying Game. The middle of A Beautiful Mind, that's a big deal. The end of The Sixth Sense. Oh, I tell you, that one is so clever and powerful that they let M. Night Shyamalan make 7 more stinkers after that, each one more expensive and terrible than the last, all on the strength of The Sixth Sense. So, see that. But we're talking about Star Trek Into Darkness, so let's get to it. Review-wise, I thought it was just terrific. I saw it opening night and was delighted throughout. Great action, great special effects, a lot of signature J.J. Abrams lens flares. And what I've always liked best about Star Trek, fun characters who interact in their own quirky ways. The human and Vulcan and Klingon relationships are what I think J.J. Abrams does best. Anyway, it was a fun ride and a completely engaging tale. But then I thought about it for a minute. Okay, here come the spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, switch off now. Okay, are we cool? Everybody still here on board for serious story details from Star Trek? Seriously, even if you don't mind spoilers, it's better that you've seen the movie at this point because you might not even know what I'm talking about. Okay, here we go. For such a clever movie made by such smart people, there are some pretty stupid things here. Like the whole thing that pays off the opening sequence. Why couldn't they just beam that ice bomb down into the volcano? Why did they have to lower the smartest, most valuable crewman on the ship down on a wire? He basically just has to push 2 buttons to arm that thing. Anyone could have done that. And they have automatically buckling seatbelts. Why can't they put a timer on the ice bomb? They call it a cold fusion device, but I don't think that means what they think it does. Also, putting the Enterprise under the ocean, that's pretty silly, but kind of awesome and hilarious, so I don't mind that. Okay, how can Benedict Cumberbatch beam himself from a helicopter floating in the air all the way across space to Klingon using a device the size of a boombox? And how could Scotty just grab it out of the wreckage and tell from a display the size of a Palm Pilot what planet he went to? They say it's Scotty's transwarp technology that he invented in the last movie. But if that is a thing, if you could just beam people between locations as far apart as planets, what is even the point of having spaceships at all anymore? I'm asking. And I know they were just trying to parallel Spock's death from The Wrath of Khan by having Kirk go to the warp core to fix it, and his death causing Spock to go, Khan! That was pretty awesome and hilarious. But seriously, if there's a man-sized door on the warp core, why don't they have some kind of radiation suit on a hook right there next to it? In fact, why don't they have a guy specially trained and standing by with a suit like that? Or, I don't know, how about a robot? Oh, seriously. And really, all you gotta do to fix the warp core reactor is just keep kicking it till it drops into place? Is the whole Enterprise like one of those little jiggly games with the BBs that you have to tilt to get all the BBs into the right holes? Oh, for God's sake. Then after it gets back in the hole and starts working, and energy shoots out of it, knocking Kirk across the room, why is he not just cooked instantly where he lands like a hot pocket in a microwave? Well, we know why, so he can have the dramatic death scene with Spock. Okay, fine. And now apparently you can cure all diseases, including radiation poisoning and death, with Benedict Cumberbatch's magic Khan blood. Why bother having any other medicine at all now? Just keep old Super Baddie on ice and tap a vein whenever somebody dies. Look, I think it's time we just admit that science fiction and fantasy are really just the same thing. We are just making up magical things that do what we want them to do to serve the story. It's a phaser. It's a magic wand. It's a genetically engineered super blood. It's a potion made of magical unicorn blood. It's a transporter beam. It's a magical port key. You see what I mean? And this is not a disparagement to sci-fi or to fantasy. I love them both. Okay, Peter Wells' giant super enterprise that he keeps hidden next to Jupiter to use to start the war with the Klingons. After Bones and the inexplicably British sexy scientist officer manage to arm the super torpedoes and blow it up, it still crashes into San Francisco, plowing through like a city block of skyline. That's something like 10 September 11th's worth of death and destruction, and it happens as just another part of the whiz-bang climax. Oh, this is a happy ending? And Khan walks away from this crash. And as ever, it all boils down to a fist fight on top of some kind of sky streetcar. Crashing a giant spaceship into a bunch of modern, well-built buildings does not hurt this guy, but an angry Vulcan, with a little help, finally manages to pummel him into submission. Oh, I am so conflicted. I love this movie, but I have so many problems with it. That's the thing. If the characters are likable enough and the thrills and laughs can really reach us, we will forgive all of these flaws. And it's fun to talk about this stuff, isn't it? Okay, so here's the new rule about spoilers, which I'm just making up right now. If you really give a shit about something, see it while it's fresh. Then you can be a part of the discussion while your friends are still interested enough to keep talking about it. And if you can't be bothered, well, that's fine. Just opt out. And if you hear a spoiler, big deal. You will have forgotten about it by the time you see it on Netflix next year anyway. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and all that jazz. I see you again here soon. And if Peter Weller is an American, how is his daughter British? I ask you. Oh. But still, I'm very glad J.J. Abrams is doing the next Star Wars movies now. I would much prefer that they be funny and exciting with great characters than to make perfect sense.